Back at it again. This is the early morning. What we're gonna do is that here we have the code for one of these three or displays. Firstly, I would have to add when you're creating a new. I have a class called custom alert display. This is the custom alert display. Right now I have three different. Now I want to add another one where I can select a list of options. And then when I have selected, it takes me to the next thing. Right. So to do that, I will have to go back to the code and in here, so the title, we're gonna still have a title, right? The title here is this title. The description is this description, and then we'll have like a confirm action which is being called as like a method or a function that's being called when we click on OK, create or pass back. And then we'll have like an icon. So this icon is a string. So basically the path where the icon is being saved. The icon appears up here. Let's see, we have the prompt value. That means if we should write anything, what should be the prompt default value. We have the prompt placeholder. We have the cancel button. Maybe we don't want cancel, maybe we want back, maybe we want next, I don't know. And then we have has prompt. So has prompt basically means that we're gonna have custom alert display that if has prompt is false, it's gonna be this one. Now the thing is, now I want to add another custom display of custom alert display type. So now has prompt won't now be enough anymore. So what we have to do is that we have to change this from has prompt to something else. So my idea is that I'll create a public enum that basically says custom alert display type. And then in here we have what are the different types that we have, right? The prompt type, we have the drop down type, and then we have default type. So let's say we have default. And I know this is a bit long, but it's good to be very clear. Custom alert display type. I could have done the CAD type, but yeah, you won't understand the code. So now we do type instead, and then here we say default. So we say that we want the default of this type, which is gonna get the first one here. Normal, none. We call that none, right? Okay, like that. So now this gives us some error in our code. We just click on this error. It says has yeah, so okay, here it is. Alright, so because we made some new changes, we have to also update that wherever that changes should be updated. So we go here, we have the custom alert display controller. So I'm using model view controller MVC. So I will have to change this here as well, and then just like that. Okay, cool. And also here has prompt. We got the type. We want to rename this to type, and then this type here we have to change not a boolean anymore, and then we have to go here and also change here, and then also of course we want to rename this to type like that. Looking good. I think we have two errors in our code, so we should just go down. Alright, okay, so basically now I am seeing this. So if the type is let's say there is a prompt, then set the entry to focus, which the entry is basically, and also if this is equals to nothing, then just firm. But then if and if it is, yeah, I will have to modify this code later on. But now we have no errors at least. Now I can go back into where I was before. Now we're gonna create our code. This is where all of the magic basically happens. So we have this custom alert. In this code, we wanna go into the let me say the visual of this code. So for that we have to inside here. So we have the prompt, and then we have the custom view. Should I use custom view? I mean, I can leave that false for now because I'll leave that false for now. Actually, I'll leave it false for now. So what I will do is that I'll create another one. Okay, now the thing is, it won't look like this. So I have to change it up. We have to switch. So how do we get this look? So the idea of getting this look quite easy. Actually, I think we just have to create. We will have to create like create a grid inside this frame, and then we'll put the text, and then we'll put the icon. So let's do that. So we have what we want to do is that we create a grid. Grid has the best performance. That's why I use grid. So say grid dot column definition. So I want 2 columns, right? And then we say column definition. And then we say width all the whole way, and then this one is gonna have I don't know, 20, and then we can actually kind of remove this. Alright, so now go back to our this here. So we can see that the color here is black with a 5 or with 7 opacity. Let's take 7. So for the background, when I have a 7 opacity, we don't want any border color, so we can remove that. But to get that 7 opacity, I would have to go inside something called got 7 there, 12. Then we got it here, 12, 12, and 12. Now I can just change this and then remove this. This basically does, instead of having a white transparent background and a border color, we remove the border color and then we just put a black transparent back with opacity. Okay, so that was that. And then now we want to go over to the create some labels. So the label is basically the text. So you create the label, UI view, and then you have the text. The text, let's get selected. Okay, so now we want to look into the properties of this text. The properties of this text is basically the same as this one. So what I will do actually is just to copy all of this and paste it here. Then instead of description, yeah, so that's not what I want here, right? I don't want the description one. So what I will do is I will actually remove this code, and I will, yeah, this is, okay, so instead of here, has prompt, we have to say type. Okay, so we can't do this. You see, we can't do this inside the code. So now we have a problem. So we only want this to be visible when we have a type that is equal to the one we want to show. So how do we make this even possible? Well, there is always a way to make everything possible, right? But maybe I will have to start by converter. I have to select the converter, and then I'll have to have the parameter I want to have in my converter. So now I have to go and create some converters. Then I'll go inside helper converter, and then I say type to visibility converter. That's what I want. Oh, you know what? I don't actually need to make it that complicated. I don't have to make it that complicated. I will have okay, I'll do it like this instead. Has drop down instead of making converters. So what I'm going to do now is that I am actually going to go inside the custom alert display. Go inside the custom alert display controller. Create something called for the. So let's see this has prompt. And then also create another one that says has drop down. And yeah, basically this is that. So the second one is has drop down, and this one is has drop down. This one, and then this one is also like that. Okay, so now we have the has prompt and has drop down. So what we could do now is we could go back here and have this has drop down instead. So the thing is, right now our code is wrong for has drop down. I shouldn't actually have created this. What I should have done is that I would say if type is equals to, and also if type is equals to drop down, and then so this is the correct code. Alright, so now it has drop down, and now it has, but now we're still not done. So here we have the label, and then also I've created icon view. I created this UI view called icon view, which basically allows me to set in the SVG resources icons. And then if I go back to, so I have the icon 6 dot this one. So this is the one, and then I can say what color do I want? I want black with 25 opacity, and 25 opacity means that 40. So you see color, icon color, theme binding. So depending on the theme, obviously, if it is a dark theme, we want 40, and then we want it to be white. 1, 2, 3. If it is light default theme, we want 40, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now it's listening to the theme, and this one does that as well. Act theme binding, if it is black, dark theme, it's white, and yeah, vice versa. This does it too. Okay, either way, so now we have the icon view here. What is left for this one? We have the icon view, we have all of that. I think we're kind of set. The only thing I think we're set. I think we just have to look at it and see how it looks. Probably won't work on the first try. Either way, before we continue, we're not fully done actually, because I remembered one. When we press on this, we want it to do, and that has to do with something called, we have this touch effect called command. So our command is going to be, we're going to bind it to something called drop down. This is what we're going to call it, drop down command. And this drop down command, when it gets pressed, it's basically going to press scale. It's going to basically going to scale like 0.95 of its original scale, and then we have to set the normal scale as well to 1. Okay, that's now we have to go back to our controller. So if I go in here, then this is my controller. Now I have to create another command called drop down, and this drop down command I will have to in the constructor. This is where I add all of my drop down commands. So I haven't really structured this that well, but this is where I have all of my commands. So I'm just going to add the region and region, and then I'm just actually going. Alright, back with a quick. Okay, so see where. Then we have the drop down here. the new command. If we create a new command, we make a lambda function out of this. And in this function, now this is basically just a method. You know, it's actually quite kind of sad. You know what? Drop down action, generate the method. You could actually do it like this also. I don't do it like this, but I maybe should start doing it like this. Drag method and make it an exit. Okay, so you can see this one calls a method, this one calls an action. And the thing is, I want this one, so I'm gonna go with this. So like that, and then I can just do this. You see? Easy, right? And it looks good too. So I'm just gonna create another one which basically says cancel action, and then I'm just gonna take this. There's already one called cancel. You know what I said? I call them action drop. Ah, okay. Well, I just get complicated with the naming action because I already have cancel action up here. So I would have to rename this one to. It's a bit funny. You know what? I will just do this. I'll leave it like that for now. For this time, I'll do it like that. But either way, let's go back to our drop down. So in our drop down, we have this object that we pass in. When we've pressed that drop down, we want a few options to come up, right? Now, I have already coded option thingy. It's actually called for, let's see, mini list selection component v2. So I need a position. Okay, so this is actually where it comes in handy. Now I don't actually need that object in handy. All I'm gonna do is I will in here I have to say command parameter. It's going to actually refer to, I just have to have a name. This is select option frame. Alright, so we're gonna pass this as an object. This is what we're gonna do. You know why this was called for the drop down frame, and then we call it. So basically in our code in here, we have to then say if this object is a frame, then we have the drop down, okay? And then this drop down frame, I can use this to get the position of that. I can use it to get the position of that drop down frame on the screen. Position, set, no. Get coordinates. That's what my method is called. So I have an extension called this get coordinates. It basically gives me the x and y axis weights. Then I say show this on that position. Then we need and this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Now this is the next step, right? Let me just make this to first I just have to make this a task.run like that, and then we make this asynchronous. And in this asynchronous, we want to wait for it. Then I'll just do this in the meantime. Okay. Then while we're waiting for this, when this is done, it's going to basically give us. We need to wait for it. No, we don't need to wait. Oh yes, we have to wait. We should do that because then we. Oh no, you know what? We'll come back. Now we need some options. For that, we will have to create another. Let's see. We want to create another parameter here. Another one here called enumerable. And the options. Drop down up. Then we want to also save this somewhere, right? So this drop down options is basically something like that, right? So basically we have no drop down option, and we want to save this here. So how do we do that? So let's say here, drop down options, and we have the I enumerable, a list of option like that, right? And then what we want to do is equals to this, or just a new one here. I think I'll have to add this here, so I can add it here. Okay, so this could be null, and if it is null, I want to check if it is null, then just create an empty list of drop down options. Alright, like that. And then in here we call this one drop down options. You know what? I think the best thing could have been just to make an I enumerable of this, then I didn't even have to do this, and then I didn't even have to do yeah, easy. Then all we do is that we check if this is the frame and I enumerable of this not equals to null. That's what happened if this is not. Yeah, we just kind of I will just say exit and execute. If drop down equals to null. Okay, so basically this means that drop down cannot be null in this case, and then we have working code. And when we're done with this, we basically go on to the next, I guess. No, we have nothing to go back to other than let's do something like that. Okay, so this is what we have for now, guys, and we want to try this out. So what do we want to do? We want to see. We come back here, we go back here, we go in here, copy this code, we go back here, we copy it and we add it here as well, and then we add this at the end of the code. Good, 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 good. Max length is max length. Keyboard and then drop down. Alright, cool. Like that. So now it seems like everything is working.
Seems like right now.
But now we have to try it out. So how do we try any of this out? It's quite tricky, you know. So I just have to. Okay, I'm ready to try it out. For trying this out, we need some stuff. So let me go to where I am going to try it out. Then I will have to go to page and then here. So this is where I test everything out, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is that I'm going to write some code here. So let's see what we got. Here we're gonna write custom alert display. Open. So title. What title do we have, guys? The title should be subscribe. The message should be, description should be this, and then we have some confirm action. What happens if we? I don't even know if we need that one. Not for the text. You know what? We just do this. And then for the icon, do we need any icon? Ooh. I mean, we can just add an icon, just just to have one. So we say icons. What icon should we add? Icon 6, confirm button text to be basically, and then we have no placeholder. We want the type. What type? Oh, what type do we want? We want the drop down type, and then also the drop down options, because that then allows me to write like this: new option, icon. I don't even know. I call code. This one will be C1. I don't know. Action. No action for now. And then font attribute, keep it, I don't know, none, not bold. I think I want more parameters. So color in light mode. I think it does it automatically, honestly. Okay, so this is it. If I go into option here, I can see the different options I have. I have image, one with the image, ring with text. Oh, I think this is the one I wanted to do, because I still didn't set the text. Oh, I forgot the text. Text was the first one. So the text should be AB icon parent dot name, icon parent name code. So this maybe was on the wrong spot. Should have been here. Now we're talking. Now we have okay. I don't know, something like this. Zero arguments. So we got this, that. Alright guys, let's try it out. Let's actually see what happens. So let's run this. I have a feeling it will be all over the place. Let's see, it's loading right now. Okay, so I see the error. So, okay, so instead of true here, we want the prompt. I will try it again. Remember where I changed, instead of having has prompt, I changed it to having the custom alert display type. Create some errors in some couple of places. So now I'm just waiting for it to run. This is the part that takes the longest time. Each time test it out, it takes time. Alright, okay, it looks like this. I think it's kind of weird. I think I will have to run that one more time. I don't know what that was. So try it again. Try it again. So now we got some result back. So this is how it looks like. This is the description. This is the description. Okay, so we got some minor stuff to fix because we're quite fast. But what happens if we click here? Nothing comes up. Click here, nothing comes up. Okay, so we got some couple of stuff. It doesn't look good here. And this is, if we go back to the code, if we go back here, we didn't specify how exactly this was going to work. So we have to write the grid.column. It has to have the second column. And this one automatically then takes. I just have to see the color. This should have like opacity 0. I think this is it. Although this description text it shouldn't have. I don't even remember. I think if I do this translation, no, I can't do that for now because it's not here. So I'll have to do this language and then translation. Languages. Properties. Okay then, let's see. Let's see here. Where was I changing before? Did I do something wrong? Languages. No. This is what we wanted. Also, because this is on the row 2, we have to go and check 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so row 2 has the auto. So we want this one to just have an hideout. We have to go back here, prompt, have 35, but 33. So let's try it out again. Let's see if it's gonna look a bit different now. Okay, it's looking somewhat better. We have the back, but this way too few. I don't even know why. Yeah. I actually do know why it looks like that. We have to go back to the code. We remove that part. We say the vertical, fixed alignment center, the horizontal. Then let's see the height of this. So this had the padding. So then this icon can have a width bigger than. Let's see and try this out. Nice. The only thing left is what happens when we drop down command. That is the only thing that is left that's interesting. Okay guys, so now looking a bit better, but so I have to look into the code why that gap is still existing. When I look at the code, honestly I don't see why, but it could have to do with that padding actually. It could have to do with that padding, so I'll try that out. Okay, let's see now. Okay, I removed the padding and it became more. And that's because frame comes with a default padding of 20. So I will have to change it in the code. Padding 0 vertical. Okay, like that. Try that out again. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go back and see whether it looks better. Somewhat better. We only need some padding on the sides. And then we're basically done. And then when we press here, it comes the maybe and then the okay. So this is basically what we want. Say okay. But although we want that when we've pressed, when we've selected one of these to replace what, so that we have to also do. And then I'm gonna add this padding to the side and then have 0 on the y-axis. Okay, now that it's looking good now, right? It's looking somewhat better now. The only thing is to do so that when we've pressed here, I don't know why this shadow appears like this. I have no clue why. It looks a bit weird. I have no clue why it's like that. Well, maybe I could look into it, but yeah. So now the thing is, now we have two stuff. First thing is that because of position, so it has this position that is basically in the center. I want to actually move it there maybe, or actually no. Let's add some more options just to see. So if we go back to our test page, and then inside here we just add. Okay, we say selection. Then why not YouTube? Okay, let's do that. I think this is gonna be okay. All right. So what were the different problems this time around? Good. I think it's looking better actually. I think we just have to make sure that when we've selected, I wanted to select an option. How do I do that? We want to go inside here. I think it's actually here. So what I want to do is it is very possible. Okay, so basically here we have, it shows all of this options. But then we want to change the text. So this is where the magic happens. We wait until this is done. So it waits until it's done. And then we can get the index of which one was the selected one. So here we get the variable. Then we can then use this index to get, so we do this and then we say index. And in this case, I'll create another one. Instead of description, I'll say drop down, something like that, right? Drop down value. And I think this drop down value, I think it has to be, I think we'll have to add another one here called string down value. So this drop down value, or the drop down, this drop down value, 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 and then we say t. So this drop down value, it goes here and say. Now the thing is, this drop down value, it may be null, and if it is null, I actually wanted to change. If it is null, you know what? If it is null, I want it to be translation dot select, and then we change the drop down value to be this. There we go. And then obviously this is going to change the UI, so we want to say our wait. We want to call this on the main thread. So like that. So this, we're calling it on the main thread. Alright guys, so I think this is that. Right now it's saying this. You just have to say binding and then drop down that. It should work like magic. If this doesn't work, then we got a bunch of errors. And I know why we got all of those errors. Do I want to fix them? No. So you know what I will do? I'll just be a little bit lazy about it. You know what? Nah, I can't be lazy about it. I just can't be lazy about it. So put that null and then copy here and then do this. Okay, now still a bunch of errors, right? Let's see. Alright, like that. That was quite an easy fix. Then we'll also have to want to add one of these here. So here we have the custom display prompt async, custom display toast async, custom display alert async. I'm gonna add another one here, which is going to be called custom drop down. Let's see you guys now. So now it's looking like this. So I press here. That's the wrong one. I say okay. Wrong, YouTube wrong. Okay, so it changed, but it changed it. So I guess I still got some stuff to do. So now the thing is, why it's doing it like this, I have to go back to the code. So it seems like, I know where the problem is. So it seems like this only returns index 0. And that is fortunate. So let's go back to here. This is it. See, this is why we gotta work with IDs. I think that was that base. So this should fix it. So let's see now. Okay guys, so now you see we have a multi-selection option. I think that is good. Maybe it could be nice if I had the icons left side icon. But this is just basically what I want to show you guys how to do this. You're welcome. You got to see a little bit of insight into how I work with custom display. That's that, you know. Subscribe for more.